Hey everyone, what's going on? It's your girl Melissa L. Atkinson, and this is my outro episode of season 2 for Hardwick Soft Life, the podcast. I feel like it's been an eternity since the last time that we sat down here, and it has, but also it hasn't. We're almost at the end of 2025, and that is even crazy to begin with because at the beginning of 2025 in February is when I was still battling with, do I want to make a podcast? Am I able to make a podcast? Do I have anything that adds value to the world, and how do I present it? In February, started with Creators Escape that was hosted by my very good friend Justin Story. Shout out to him for putting me in a room full of creatives that ultimately gave me faith in my own creative idea. And then we go to March, April time where I link up with Black Stock Footage with Imani and Sabrina. Shout out to them for doing all the production on this season. And I bring a lot of my friends along to talk to them about their story because the first few episodes of Hardwick Soft Life was talking about my story and my hardships. And then I got to know other people's hardships and how they show up for themselves on the other side. And I hope that you guys were as inspired by those episodes as I was inspired by them as well. So first of all, let's just talk about how much things can happen in such a short amount of time. So obviously I started the podcast again. We've been putting out episodes to you guys almost every other week for the last few months. And I was able to trademark the name Hardwick Soft Life. So that's really ill. That's something that I've done on my own, and I did it without any lawyer representation. Not to say I think I'm a pretty smart cookie, but I never thought that I was that intelligent, right? I didn't even think about trademarking a name until I actually started to pick up traction and was like, wait a minute, like I should trademark this. I should protect myself. So just learning the ins and outs of business have been something that I've been doing for the last few months. And I'm actually really proud of myself. So I just want to share that with you all. So a lot of this podcast too, this idea just has evolved into, okay, I think I can do a podcast, and I've done that. Now I'm like, I think I can speak to crowds, which I've done that. I actually got to moderate for an event over at the Nike Wellness Collective in Hyde Park here in Tampa, Florida. I've gotten invited to come back and do a speaking engagement in Atlanta in November, and that's really exciting. This idea, this little kernel of a thought that I had has progressed and has grown into something that I think is going to be a lot greater than even myself. This started with me just telling you guys like, hey, I'm a felon. I've been in jail a few times. I've been evicted. I've faced homelessness. And now I have this awesome life, and it's possible for you too. It started off with that to, wait a minute, I have friends that are in higher places than me that have obtained like crazy levels of success that I could only dream of doing myself. And I'm going to share their story with you to, damn, I think I could take this other places and continue to expound upon it. And I'm telling all of you guys like my growth and all of the things that I didn't think were possible have become possible. I'm telling you this not because I want to brag, which honestly, I'm talking my shit a little bit. So I am bragging, but not just for that reason. It's like, I want to thank everybody who tunes into Hardwick Soft Life and everybody who's contributed to this process. I want to thank, from Black Stock Footage, Sabrina Imani, for producing this with me. I want to thank Justin for putting me in the room with all the people that I needed to meet and feel inspired by and ultimately have them on my season. To all of the people that had sat down and had a good chat with me because they didn't have to, like nobody had to do anything. And most importantly, the people that continue to listen, my community that I've gotten to build by way of this podcast, because without y'all listening, there is nothing for me to continue to create. So I got some notes here because I always have to have the note cards on deck. I also want to talk about how when you create something like a podcast and it's based on who you are as a person and your personality and growing and you're filming it, it forces you to closer examine yourself as a person. So this labor of love in this season and watching myself back, there's a few episodes, actually, I'm not gonna lie, not even a few episodes. Most of the episodes I watch and I actually cringe. I'm like, oh shit, like, I didn't realize that when someone is telling me something sad, the way I take in information is to be like, oh, okay, moving forward. And If you guys remember, at the start of this season, I said that I had newly enrolled into therapy. And so, therapy and closely examining myself on camera and creating this season of this podcast have forced me in a way to to notice things that I do, certain nuances, whether it be in conversation, whether it be in the way that I think, whether it be in the way that I process things. So it's forcing me to just continue to be better every day. And man, I can't believe I've been in therapy that long. I can't believe, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like my therapist, she really gets her money's worth with me, because I feel like I'm one of those patients that's just, it's a mess. But it's a mess that's in progress. And I think that watching myself take this mess that's in progress and making it a message and filming it and sharing it with others has been very helpful. So I know a lot of people that are creatives are always worried about being perceived and are always worried about, oh, this is cringy, I don't want to put it out. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of the reason why I even put out the episodes of Hardwick Soft Life for this season so consistently is because I already used up like Sabrina and Imani's time to film it, and I already invested money to make sure that this was a thing, right? And so I couldn't afford to be like, oh, this is cringe, I don't want to put it out because it's cringe. So it forced me to get over myself in that way. And as a creative, I think that's really a difficult thing that we all face. I think that there's a lot more people that are probably more talented than what I really don't feel like I'm that talented, if I'm honest. I feel like I just talk, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk and I'm going to just put this out there. And I think there are a lot of people that are probably more talented in that way than I am, and maybe more well-spoken or well-articulated or have a better way to present certain topics and convey certain messages, and they get in their own way, very similar to how I was getting in my own way. Honestly, empty the clip on your ideas. Put that shit out. Even if you feel like it's cringy, you know what? You're gonna get better along the way, and that's something that I have noticed watching my episodes back. I listen to the way I speak and I try to fix it. I listen to how I take in people's information when they're telling me something traumatic. And not only do I say, wow, that's a really weird way for me to have responded, but then I wonder, okay, not only how can I do it better, but why do I respond in that way? Why do I take this in this way? And so you're gonna ask those questions along your journey, and you're gonna feel like this is cringe. You're gonna feel like, oh, this is shit, I can't put it out. Do it anyways, empty the clip and get better on your way to greatness, because that's what I feel like I'm doing right now. What else? Another thing that I have been learning, not just with watching myself back, but also growing in therapy, right? That's been a really big part of my life right now. For every 2 weeks that I'm putting out an episode, every 2 weeks, I'm actually going to therapy as well. And granted, we don't just sit around and just talk about my podcast, but something that I've learned watching myself back, and that I'm also learning just by talking to my therapist, is that my superpower for a very long time was the superpower of assimilation, or the superpower of being palatable. And I'm coming to a point in my journey where I am very proud of my podcast, but I also feel like I have not pushed myself hard enough, maybe. I've not pushed myself hard enough, maybe just within the podcast, but also as a person. There is nothing wrong with showing up in spaces unapologetically as yourself. If I could count a penny for every time I thought that I was too much, or I thought that I was too loud, or I thought that I was too aggressive or too direct or too anything really, and try to dim those things down about myself, I'm now in a space where I'm questioning myself as to, why am I doing that? Why am I trying to be so palatable and pretty and packaged for other people, when in truth, it really shouldn't matter if anybody likes what I got going on. It just should matter that I'm being authentic and I'm being my truest self. And I don't use the word authentic as a buzzword. A lot of people are using that word authentic and genuine and raw and as a buzzword. And I feel like those are words that perfectly encompass who I am. And so if that's what people like, and if that's what resonates most with others and with myself, there should be no reason why I should be palatable. I mentioned in the first episode of this season that being the kid of immigrants, you learn very quickly to be palatable for other people. And that is something that I'm unlearning. And so watching my podcast back, I'm like, damn, like I could have pushed further maybe in this conversation, or maybe I could have provided insight here, but I didn't, or I was scared, it's forcing me to like, why am I that way? And so in the last few months, I've really been embracing just showing up as myself, not what I think other people expect me to be. And it's been a challenge, but it's been a rewarding challenge. I feel like I dress more me. I feel like I'm learning to not have to put away my accent to make other people comfortable. I don't know, getting comfortable with different hair textures that like were out of the question for me before because I felt like it wasn't corporate. I feel like it wasn't palatable. I felt like people wouldn't like it. I'm just really embracing the journey of finding myself. And I used to always think that sounded crazy. What do you mean you're finding yourself? Like, you're you. How can you not know who you are? But this therapy journey has really put things into perspective for me and has really forced me to see like what parts of myself is performative sometimes, even though that's not the intent, and what parts of myself can really shine if I just allow it to. So yeah, watching myself back has been a journey. I think that there's nowhere to go but up. I really don't know what I have in store with Hardwick Soft Life. Having this podcast has allowed me to create more relationships than ever. I've really picked up momentum in that way. And even picking up momentum, like I might say, like there have been moments where I felt lost. Like I feel like other creatives have a plan too, right? Like myself, I had a very strict plan. I said, okay, boom, I'm going to start this podcast. And I think that once I pick up momentum, I'm going to go in this direction and I'm going to build relationships this way. And nothing is ever really a linear path. So that's something that I'm learning right now and embracing. But I don't really know where I'm going with this. I know that there have been points where I have picked up a lot of momentum and been like, okay, I'm feeling like this is really popular, and I've gotten distracted or I've been losing focus, which I feel like is normal in this process too. But I will say that filming this episode is bringing me like I feel a sense of accomplishment because I have never really been able to finish anything, bring it to completion, and feel proud of where I ended up with it. So I feel a sense of accomplishment in that way, but I also feel like, damn, I'm hyped. I'm excited. Like I want to do more stuff. So hopefully there's more to come. In my mind, I think I want to do some type of live panels, podcasting. I want to collaborate with a lot more of the people that were featured on this season to bring some of that to fruition. I know that moving is definitely in the cards for my husband and I. We haven't really told a lot of people, but we are definitely thinking about moving states, possibly sometime next year. Another thing I want to share with y'all actually has been part of this growth too, because I've been able to take my creative endeavors and make them into something that I'm proud of. I feel like I'm ready for a next chapter in this life. Without my husband, there is no Hardwick Soft Life, right? There's only a hard life. My husband has really been the person to help me come full circle in certain aspects of my life. And he is, my sounding board. He is my advice. He is my moral support. When I feel like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. To the world, everybody might be like, oh, Melissa got it all together. Melissa is a monster. She's doing this with no team. Because I don't have a team. Like a lot of the relationships and the people that you see me with is I built that up myself. A lot of my social media stuff, I'm doing that myself. I don't have a team. And there's a lot of times that self-doubt can creep in. And without my husband, I don't think that I would be able to continue. I probably would have given up on myself a long time ago because my give up game is very strong. When I feel like, I can't do this, I'm not going to. I'm very quick to give up on things, including myself. But I say all this to say that my husband is all of the things that I've needed in a partner. And I never really felt that I would be ready to say, I'm ready to have a child without feeling like I've been unfulfilled in this life as a woman. I think oftentimes as women, we get married and we have kids and we think that's just what we're supposed to do. And if I don't do it, there's something wrong with me. But there's another facet to being a woman. There's another facet to like self-realization and self-actualization. And it's okay to go through those things first and want to achieve for you first before being ready for that next chapter. And me being able to take all my creative endeavors and do them in a way that I feel proud of, I finally have sat down with my husband and said, hey, I think I think I'm ready to be a mom one day. I think I'm ready for us to start trying, and I don't feel any ill will or resentment in saying, okay, yeah, let's do it. I don't feel like I'm forced, right? Like, I don't feel like I'm like, oh, yeah, let's just do it because I'm getting older and I have to. It feels like you know what? I've been loved and supported so much to this point, and I've been able to do a lot of the things that I've wanted to do. And this is not a death sentence. I feel like I can continue to do those things and add on to our family in this greatness. And so I wanted to share with y'all that we are actively trying to try having a baby soon. Hopefully I got a baby to drop sometime in 2026. I'm not pregnant yet. We're in our second cycle of trying. And I think that's something that I want to really candidly document as a woman who's in her mid-30s and share with everybody. I don't know how it's going to go. We're hoping for success, but you never know. But yeah, that's a new chapter that I'm ready for. I feel like I've accomplished a lot in the last 7 months to a year. And I feel like I'm going to be able to watch the first episode of season 2, Hardwig Soft Life, and watch this episode. And I'm probably still going to cringe, but I'll be able to say, damn, there's a lot of growth from point A to point B. And I'm hoping that everybody who has watched and listened and supported Hardwig's the podcast can say the same throughout this season. I don't know what next season's going to be like because I don't have a plan. I've started to just loosely plan my life because you can't have a plan. Nothing's linear. But yeah, it's been real. It's been really dope. I appreciate everyone who's come on this ride with me. I will say that a mistake that I feel like I made in this season, which I definitely want to correct, is and hold myself accountable. I think I hid behind my interviews. I think I hid behind a lot of my interviewees. And I think I want to do a lot more of this, of just talking to everybody, because I feel as a podcaster or as a person who interviews other people, it's really easy to just ask them what their take is or ask them what their story is and then just let them go. And then you've contributed nothing. And the whole reason why a lot of y'all come to Hardwig Soft Life is for me, for Melissa. And so I think I got really caught up in being afraid. And so that's something that I definitely want to fix in the next season. I think we'll have a lot more episodes where it's just me talking. I've come to find out that some of my community really enjoys that. People have told me like, hey, when are you going to talk to us again? I promise I'm not about to pull a Beyonce on y'all and not talk to you anymore. No shade, no tea against my girl Beyonce. I get it. But yeah, we're going to do a lot more of this. And it's up, y'all. It's up. That's all I got to say. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the end of season 2, Hardwig Soft Life, the podcast. Let me double check my notes, make sure I didn't miss anything. Nah, I think that's really it. And shout out to everybody who was a part of this season. Thank you, Justin Story. Thank you, Tracy Baker Simmons, for taking time. Thank you, Esso. Shout out to Pastor Tikoa Pori. Thank you, Sabrina, for being on this. Thank you, Jada, as well. I hope I'm really not missing anybody. And that's it. Adios.